Hello, everybody. You are listening to On the Mic with Loudmouth Matt. And thank you for tuning in on today's episode. And here's what we got going on today. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And thank you for tuning back in with me. This is Loudmouth Matt. So with that being said, I know I've been gone for a few days, and right now, I guess you can say I'm trying to play catch up with everybody. Um, so with that being said, today I went online, and again, I have a Facebook page for this YouTube channel, and so with that being said, on that Facebook channel, I follow left, right wing outlets, right? And one of them is Breitbart. So with that being said, I did make a comment on a Breitbart uh, article, I guess you can call it, and it was. Let me go and hit this. Go to here. Something about to make room for orange head fucknuts head on Mount Rushmore. And then I come back and I will add these screenshots to this video so you can see what I said and what this person said. Now, yes, I'm going to be upfront and honest. I was downright ignorant. I'm not going to fucking lie about it. But like I said in my other videos, I am tired of fucking pussyfooting around what the conservative right is. And I'm tired of it. I don't give a shit. Man, woman, white, black, I don't give a shit. If you're a conservative and you voted that fucking way, you're nothing but a fucking Nazi to me. Because you voted against humanity. I don't give a fuck. You're a fucking Nazi. You are. So anyway, with that being said, I called her a Nazi and white trash and a couple of other things. But and I also mentioned in the one that the sculptures, not the sculpture, the sculpture, the person who did the fucking artwork. Anyway, so or whoever they ended up coming out saying like, there's no more usable space on this mountain to do any more heads because I think there was supposed to be another head or something on it. But anyway, they're like, yeah, there's not enough usable mountain left to do this. I did put something along those lines about that there's not enough usable mountain to put orange head fucknut a face on there. And the only thing that she came back with that bothered her was me calling her a Nazi. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a minute. If I'm calling you a Nazi and that offends you to the point where you're going to come around and attack me, which I'm not saying I don't deserve it. I'm not saying that. But you to come turn around to attack me saying that you're not the Nazi that I am because I want everybody to be included in things. I want everybody to have equal rights. Um, and because I want there to be my safety net that I pay into through the government to the government for me and for everybody else that's on this safety net to have. They're called social programs or socialism programs, socialist programs. See, I'm okay with that. Um, I'm also okay with free education, um, diversity, yeah, equal employment. I'm for that. But I'm the Nazi. See how that doesn't fit into the narrative of me being a Nazi. Okay, but now your narrative, because one, you're on this news network basically saying that a left-headed winger, me, would go through the wall and once you put his head up there. Well, yeah, maybe, but see, you are following or standing behind the logic because you're defending this man tooth and nail. You're defending it to the point where it doesn't matter what he if he does anything wrong. It doesn't matter if he breaks the Constitution. Doesn't matter if he disobeys judges' orders. It doesn't matter if he's a convicted felon, not of one felony, but of 34 felonies. A Someone who was found liable for sexual assault. He was found liable for sexual assault. He was also taken to court multiple times for not renting to minorities. He's also taken someone to court. I remember this from Atlantic City back in the fucking 90s. He took a woman to court to try to get her property because he was out and buying all the properties around this woman to force her into selling to him because he wanted to build a parking garage for the Taj Mahal. I believe it was his casino, the Taj Mahal. Yeah, it was. She said, "No, I'm not going to sell." She didn't want to sell. Okay, and so what did Orange Head Fucknut do? Took the woman to court. Took a woman to court to force her to give him her house. Okay, so now I want that to sink into your fucking skull. You inbred, no good, white nationalist, white supremacist, fucking Nazi dumb fox. Okay, don't ever sit there and say you didn't vote for him because you're not a bigot. Don't, because all of those things on this man shows me you are a fucking bigot because it's okay that he does all of that stuff. I don't care. I like to hear what his policies are. I like this and I like that. Well, okay, but nothing he is saying he can legally do. So now what? I mean, that's kind of like what I'm trying to ask. Like, if you sit here and say you're not a bigot and you're trying to defend yourself from being called a Nazi to the point where you're going to take my ideology and say that's what Hitler was for, motherfucker, please. Like, this is coming from a guy who has just a high school education. My GPA was like a 2.5, 2.7 ish. I was a pure average fucking kid. Okay, uh, I'm calling bullshit. Really, I'm gonna call bullshit on that all day long. But the only thing you got upset about was that I called you a Nazi, not that, the best thing that, of you ran down your daddy's leg, or the best part of you your mama swallowed. None of that shit bothered you. What bothered you was me calling you a Nazi. And you want to sit there and say that we're going to sit here and wait until we're told to go and jump off the cliff, and that we sit here and promote violence, and we want to burn the cities down and all that. No, we don't. Now, see, for every group of people, you're going to always have what they call, what's the word I'm looking for? Antagonizers. People who, these people are going to go there to antagonize, or to get it to go to be more, to to make the crowd angry. And I mean, we're already upset anyway at this point anyway, because it's like, what the fuck's going on in our world? So we're trying to do what we're told to do peacefully. Then you get these troublemakers who come to start the looting and all this, to get a group of people to follow them into that. Now, with that being said, the ones who have been found, and the ones who have been found guilty of antagonizing and being the start of those little civil unrest areas, the ones who were found and went that were found went through the judicial system, and that was found guilty of these crimes, we have all came back and found, again, Google's is a fucking free entity to use. Okay, you can Google it, that these people were from the far right. Antagonizers. Thank you, that's the word. These antagonizers that they found and that were convicted were of the right, not of the left. Okay. Now, do I agree with the looting and all that? No, I don't. At least not when it's to your community owned businesses. No. No. Again, I'm not saying to go and do it with the nationwide chains, but I just look the other way. I can give two fucks. That's corporate America. One of the reasons we're having the dysfunctions we're having now in this country, because there's no regulations anymore to saying, oh, instead of you can make your profit to whatever the fuck, let's say, oh, I don't know, 10%, and now it can be whatever the fuck you want. Well, motherfucker, yeah, nah, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. Walmart and everybody else, I don't give a fuck. Take whatever the fuck you want from. I'm just gonna look away. But anyway, that's that, because I don't give a fuck. I'm not saying to do it. I'm just gonna look the other way because I don't care. But yeah, that shit's wrong. I'm not gonna say that it's not. Just it's wrong for the looting. But I would tell you this, as being as left as possible. If you find someone on the left that did a crime and they go through the judicial system and they're found guilty, they're guilty. That's not going to sit there and, try to give it an excuse. Own up, own it. You did what you did, own it. And, it is what it is. Shit happens. And I even have that mentality with the antagonizers. However, it's, you just got caught, and now it's you boo-hooing, and Orange Head Fucknut is turning around and signing papers for you people, because he already knows that when he says this, go and we're going to storm this and storm that, and he can be forced the way back into the White House, into a safe house, and you guys go off and do it, we already know he'll turn around and pardon you people. We already know that. We've seen it. They're not. They weren't political hostages. They weren't political. Um, yeah, they weren't political hostages or anything like that. They were convicted fucking felons. You got one of these convicted felons. Again, I guess because I want justice for everybody, that this guy is would be a what? Now that you have a guy who was pardoned for January 6th, but now he's also using that pardon to get out of another crime they found evidence for. And his argument is, since he was pardoned with this crime on January 6th, because of that pardon, the evidence that they found on their search warrant for January 6th, this other evidence that now they were using against him for another crime, has to be thrown out of court because of, since the January 6th stuff has been dropped and pardoned, he shouldn't be liable for this other crime now, because that's how they found this evidence. Yeah. Google's free. Okay. Google is free. And it's actually looking like it's going to work for this guy. But I'm the Nazi. I'm the one you got to worry about with your kids. I'm the one you have to worry about. Not, drag queens are the ones you have to worry about. The ones who are liberals are the ones you got to worry about. The people who dress up in cosplay are the people that you got to worry about. You got to worry about the gays. You got to worry about the transgender community. Huh. Because that's kind of fucking odd to me, buddy. That's really fucking odd. Because this dude that is trying to use his pardon to get away from another type of crime, which I believe it had something to do with minors or sexual assaulting or something. I forget what it was, but it was in that category. That now he's trying to get away with. But these group of people, you have to worry about your kids around, when clearly it's someone in your party statistically fits the description of everybody else who committed the same exact crimes, fit in your category. But this category we have to worry about? What the fuck Kool-Aid are you drinking? Because I don't want it. I don't fucking want it. I mean, I'm a fucking pothead. I'll be the first to admit I smoke pot. Because in my state it's legal for recreational and for medical use. Okay, I'm for it, but I can't get high enough to make that make sense to me. I can't, and I'm a fucking lightweight. Like, but I'm the Nazi. Man, get the fuck out of here and just have balls and admit that you're a fucking racist. And the only reason you voted for Orange Head Fucknut was because of his views on people that you feel are less superior than you and the people of your color. Just fucking admit that. Just fucking admit you're nothing but a fucking bigot. I can't do this anymore. I can't. I can't fucking be nice to you motherfuckers anymore. Again, we got to call a fucking spade a spade. And so if it's going to sound like a bigot, look like a bigot, we're going to have to start calling them out and calling them fucking bigots or Nazis, whichever one that gets underneath their fucking skins. Because sooner we can find them, sooner than I don't fucking know what we know at least who we can and can't trust in our circles. Because if you are someone who supports this ideology or that orange head fucknut, you know what? I don't give a fuck if you starve. I don't. I don't want you at my table. And I sure in the hell don't want you to have no fucking food. I want you to fucking starve for your bigotry. So fuck you and have the day you deserve, you fucking Nazi.